One of the Australians mentioned in that piece, Peter Jennings, joins us live now. Congratulations to you, Peter. It must be quite an honour. You've been recognised for distinguished service to the development of strategic and international policy and public affairs. How does it feel?
Surprising. For once, I'm a little bit lost for words, Ash. I'm normally pretty opinionated about things, but it is, of course, a tremendous honour. And in my case, I'm delighted that recognition is being given to people that work on Australian strategic policy, because I just think that's going to be incredibly important for the country going forward. So it's humbling, but also very pleasing at the same time.
Well, yes, Peter, I've never known you to be short for words. You are a familiar face to our viewers, of course, here on Sky News. We always value your contributions and analysis, but our viewers probably don't know much about your personal backstory. I know that you've written in the past about how you came to be in Australia, what it means to you. Tell us a bit about that journey that your family took to get here from the mid-70s from Africa, how you came to be here.
Well, yes, we came here in the mid-70s, really avoiding what was a terrible civil war emerging in a country that used to be called Rhodesia and now is Zimbabwe. And really, I had a very normal childhood growing up in country New South Wales in Bowral, always, though, with a deep interest in international affairs and military matters. And although it wasn't planned that way, that's turned out really to be the bulk of my career, Ash. I started out being an academic, but pretty quickly realised that I was more interested in making policy than simply talking about it or writing about it. And that's led to a long career in defence, working on our stabilisation operation in East Timor, wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and of course most recently at the Australian Strategic Policy Institute, talking about the rise of China and what that means for Australia, cybersecurity, the defence budget and military acquisitions. There's so many interesting things to talk about in the national security space, and I hope to be able to continue to do that, including through Sky for a long time to come.
Well, we're always happy to have you here with us, Peter. You've described Australia, I know, as creating a society that's the envy of the world. What is it about this country that makes you see it through that lens?
I think the most important thing is its quality of life, its tolerance, its ability to welcome people. You know, I'm one of the 30% of Australians who came here from different parts of the world, only to have the opportunity for a most interesting and privileged career. There are very few places in the world which allow people to rise to prominence pretty much based on individual merit and nothing else. And I think that's a special thing to celebrate about Australia on really a very significant day.
And Peter, what's your view? Does it need to be on this day? Does this date deserve to be celebrated, to be given that title of Australia Day?
I personally think so, yes. I think there is a need to recognise the concerns of Indigenous Australians, but, you know, my view would be, let's not tear Australia Day down. Let's think about a way of celebrating a day which recognises the contribution that Indigenous people have made and will always make to Australia. We can be big enough to do both things. And I think a focus which is simply on saying that Australia Day is not appropriate really fails to acknowledge the enormous achievements which Australians have made over decades to produce one of the best countries. In fact, I'll say the best country in the world. Let's not be slighting about that. Let's just think about ways we can lift everyone up through finding ways also to acknowledge the important role which Indigenous people play in our country.
Well, Peter, I guarantee this won't be the last time we speak with you this year on Sky News. What is it this year in terms of the global situation that you expect to be back here on Sky News discussing it with us throughout the year? What's really on top of your agenda in terms of the global outlook?
It could be as soon as this afternoon, Ash, but I think, you know, obviously the war in Ukraine, with the potential for that to continue to grow, although I hope what we're going to see over the course of 2023 is the victory of Ukrainian forces against the Russians, and it seems to me that's the most likely outcome. And then in our own region, the continued growth of an aggressive China and the risk which that pays to peace in the Indo-Pacific. I think every week that goes by, we're going to continue to see instances of how Australia needs to make itself stronger in a defence and security sense in order to preserve the security of the region. And I think this is going to be, the stuff of daily news reporting throughout all of 2023 and beyond. So probably, yes, your viewers will have the chance to see a bit more of me as the year goes on.
Well, we all look forward to that. Congratulations again, Peter Jennings.